Hello students, welcome to Solochem Lab. We have a problem on hand to be solved. It's a 2024 UTME problem. The problem says a factor that does not affect the rate of a reaction is, some options are given. What does the rate of a chemical reaction mean? The rate of a chemical reaction is a description of how fast or how slow that reaction takes place. How fast or how slow the reaction is. And the formula for the rate of a reaction is seen on the board. Rate equals amount of reactant consumed divided by time taken for that amount to be consumed. You can also get it by using the formula amount of products formed over time taken. Do you understand? What then are the factors that affect the rate of a chemical reaction? The first one is temperature. Temperature is a factor that affects the rate of a chemical reaction. Let's take an example. When you have a perishable food item like meat or fresh tomatoes, students, where do you preserve it? Do you keep it in the open? Do you put it in a pot and cover it? Do you put it in a refrigerator and put the refrigerators on? Why do you store it in a refrigerator? The temperatures in the refrigerator, are they high or low? The refrigerator offers very low temperatures, and that helps to preserve the perishable food item. It doesn't get spoiled until whenever you make use of the perishable food item. So what have you done? You have lowered the temperature so that the rate of that chemical reaction that would have made the perishable food item to spoil, to get damaged, the rate is reduced to the lowest. Do you understand? So temperature, that's option D here, is a factor that affects the rate of a chemical reaction. What other factor affects the rate of a chemical reaction? Let's look at surface area. Surface area. Surface area is one of the factors that affect the rate of a chemical reaction. As you can see here, I have 3 test tubes. Each of these test tubes contains calcium triazocarbonate 4 and also HCl. But the calcium triazocarbonate 4 is in different forms. In the first test tube, it is here in large lumps. Large lumps means in huge cups. The calcium triazocarbonate 4 is in large lumps. They are in huge lumps. And then we have HCl. In the second test tube, we have calcium triazocarbonate 4 in chips. Chips means they are flat, they are not in huge form, they are not like big stones. Large lumps means like they are like big stones. Do you understand? Chips means that they are flat. Do you remember talking about plantain chips? They are very flat. And then here, the calcium triazocarbonate 4, that's marble, they are in powdered form. In which of these 3 test tubes do you think that the rate of reaction will be highest? The rate of the reaction will be highest here, where the marble is in powdered form. Do you know why? It is because in powdered form, the largest surface area of the marble is exposed to be in contact with the HCl. In the large lumps form, that's in big stones form, only a small surface area of the marble is exposed to react with HCl. Do you understand? That means the smaller the particle size, the larger the surface area. The bigger the particle size, the smaller the surface area. Therefore, surface area is a factor which affects the rate of chemical reactions. Let's look at catalyst. What is a catalyst? Have you tried opening a soft drink before? Students, have you tried? When you did, what happened? You get a fizz sound. Now, when you get a fizz sound, did you notice bubbles forming? Have you tried adding some common salt to that bottle of soft drink? What did you observe? You will see the bubbles will form at a faster rate. So what is the salt acting like in this experiment we just described? It is increasing the rate of the formation of the bubbles. Can we call it a catalyst? What does a catalyst do? A catalyst is a substance which increases the rate of a chemical reaction. A catalyst is a substance which either increases or decreases the rate of a chemical reaction. Do you understand? Look at this equation here. This chemical reaction here, where potassium triazochlorate 5 is decomposed to give us potassium chloride and oxygen. Did you notice what is on the arrow? MnO2. This MnO2 is serving as a catalyst. Any chemical equation where you see a compound, especially a D-block element, a compound containing D-block element written on the arrow, it usually serves as a catalyst. With the help of this catalyst, the heating required for this process will not be much again. What does the catalyst do to increase the rate of a chemical reaction? It lowers the activation energy. It lowers the activation energy. The activation energy of a reaction is that minimum amount of energy required for a reaction to proceed. The minimum amount of energy required for a reaction to go on is called activation energy. The catalyst affects the rate of a chemical reaction by lowering the activation energy. Do you understand? With all these explanations, can we go back to the problem and choose the correct option? A factor that does not affect the rate of a chemical reaction is, did we mention volume as a factor that affects the rate of a chemical reaction? No. So we pick volume. This is a factor that does not affect the rate of a chemical reaction. There are other factors that affect the rate of a chemical reaction, which we'll talk about in our subsequent classes. But for now, do you have any question about what we've explained? Feel free to drop the question at the comment area of this video. Or better still, you can relate directly with Solochem Lab with the help of this contact here. Do you understand? Bye.